All right, welcome everyone to the Thursday, August 7th regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission. We will start with roll call. Let the record show Commissioners Dorf and Laux are attending via Zoom. Commissioner Goldhahn is in person, and Commissioners Boyle-Roloff and Cobb are excused. You all received the agenda via email, so if there are no changes, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Laux, seconded by Commissioner Dorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. Approval of the minutes. So you had a few minutes in your packet. So we had the minutes from the April 3rd regular meeting and the May 22nd, June 25th, June 30th, July 8th, July 15th, and July 22nd special meetings. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve all of those minutes as contained in the package.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Dorf, seconded by Commissioner Laux. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, we have those. Informational, President's Report. Just want to comment that we do have a number of minutes, so it's been a long time since we've had a regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission, but that's because of the amount of interviewing and hiring that's been done both within the fire department and within the police department. And we've scheduled special meetings to fit in with both the schedules of the applicants as well as the schedules of the commissioners, so that has created all that. At our last special meeting, we talked about a change in the process of police recruiting and hiring. I'm looking forward to that process starting up as soon as we can to cut down on the time between when a person applies and when we're able to interview them. And I think it should speed up the process and make it more convenient for the commissioners to be able to get in and review the applicants more quickly. So with that comes expectations of us as commissioners when we do get the notice via email that a candidate's information is available. It's incumbent upon us to get in there within a week, as we said would be our deadline, and review that and then log our recommendations for that. One of the things that Professional Standards is doing, I've asked them to check if we can get a report on how well we as commissioners are going in and doing that and meeting the timeline. And so they are working with the vendor to see if we can get that so that I can send regular updates to each individual commissioner as to how well we're doing on that. Because the success of that, speeding up our time really relies on how well we get in and log that and do our part of that process. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Net first, because the rest of them are interviews in the police department.
All right, perfect. So our staffing, currently we have 4 vacancies. So thanks for all the work to interview all those candidates. We had some really good candidates, and we're pretty proud to see that moving forward. We will, and those are just normal attrition that led to those retirements. We've asked to hire 2 more, and I think that Jen's going to talk about this a little bit more too, but overhire 2 people, and that's to address anticipated fall retirements still, and then also start up of our mobile integrated healthcare program, which is going to be funded by outside agencies. So we had the partnership with one third-party healthcare administrator and then a hospital moving forward. So we have pretty good funding that will allow us to continue that program. So this year, we're going to do another trial of that to make sure the funding and the revenue streams are exactly what we expect. And then with the hopes of next year, we'll be able to roll that out back as a full-time program that's paid for by others, which is really nice too. So to do that with the overhire, with the potential goal of hiring 6 people, we're doing 8 background checks. And then the recruit class will start on September 15th with a graduation of November 7th. And we'll send out those more formal invites later too. Also, progress with the new fire station. We held a press conference to announce the anticipated demolition, and we see a backhoe over there now, so we're really optimistic that the Badger site will be demolished soon, and we look forward to what the future looks like on that site.
That site did a lot of work, sheet metal work for our plant.
Oh, I bet,
Working that
I'll
day.
bet. I'll bet.
So I hope we don't get as much action from it when it's a fire
Yeah,
station.
no, it should be a little more low key, so, yeah, it'll be a nice project. We're really excited about what that looks like.
Any questions for Chief Knott?
None for me.
All right, thank you. Our only other item was going to be when we review the budget items, but those are
Okay,
incidental, so.
okay. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you,
Have a good
Chief.
day.
You too.
From the police side, we have a few more vacancies than the fire service. We're down 18 now. We anticipate a few more vacancies between now and next spring, and so we are, and I've asked Acting Commander Kane to come up with a plan for recruiting. We are starting to experience impacts for staffing and patrol in particular, and we're holding pretty long-term vacancies in investigations in our community policing unit. So we're discussing some ways, number one, to shore up service delivery, but number two, to try to make more efficient use of the recruiting resources and maybe bring in some outside consulting help. You know, for a while we were doing pretty well there, and now we're again, I think, starting to experience a decline in the amount of interest that we're seeing. One trend that does seem to be continuing is we're getting lateral candidates who are interested trickling in fairly regularly, so that's an encouraging sign because obviously those folks are fully deployable a lot faster. Related to our facility, to follow the lead of the fire department, we're not quite as far along as them. We've just got an update to the initial summary that we got from our space needs consultant that just answered some questions that we had for their first round of work. And then we're looking at just a clearer estimate of the cost of retrofitting the Press Gazette building into a police facility, and then an analysis of what that gives us over the facility we have now, and then we'll go to the mayor's office and try and make some decisions and move forward. Obviously for our facility it's a lot more expensive than the fire department because we have to house our whole department in it versus the fire department admin and their station one replacement. So it's a little bit bigger, and it's a more complex facility, obviously, so there's a lot to that. And pretty much it on the admin side. No real new big policy development changes or anything like that on the horizon. We're now over a year into our new use of force review practice and worked out the bugs of that, and that's actually functioning pretty well. And now we're a couple years into our complaint handling changes, and while we have seen an increase in the total number of complaints, we're pretty sure that's because under our old policy, a lot of those would not have been counted in the past, and now we count every one of them and document how we resolve them. What we're seeing over the last couple of years is about 70% of externally generated concerns about police officer service are declined at intake for one or more of the criteria listed in the policy, usually because the conduct that the complainant alleges, even if it were all true, just taken at face value, would not violate any of our policies. So that's a pretty good sign there. And with that, happy to answer any questions that you all have.
So on the Press Gazette building, where will the parking be? Because when I look at the present station, there's a huge lot out there.
That is one of the most interesting questions at that facility, and that we don't know yet.
Okay.
There's possibilities. That's probably the biggest challenge with that site, and we're still trying to work through that. One option is maybe securing a couple floors of the parking garage a couple blocks north of here. Downside of that is, you know, at this time of year, when you're walking back and forth from there, that's not so bad. When it's January, that's a little different. And then getting, you know, our officers have a lot of equipment to load into cars at the beginning of a patrol shift, and it's not realistic to carry all that a couple of blocks, and so we need to figure out a streamlined system for having a car available next to the building so you can load up and go to work. And so we're still working through a lot of those issues.
Chief, if I can ask, what did the space analysis come in at?
As far as a cost estimate,
No, the space. How much more room did they tell you you needed?
we need about 80,000 square feet. And the building that we're in right now, don't quote me on this, I want to say is about 46,000 square feet. Press Gazette gets us a lot closer to that, but one of the unique things about that building is it's very narrow. And there's a lot of space that is not usable because it's hallways or stairs or, you know, things that you can't work in.
Okay. Chief, I did this about 9 years ago. Is that report laying around anywhere?
You know, I'm sure it probably is. I don't remember if I've,
Because we did all this, and we came in at about 81,000 square feet that we needed. And we had an architect look at it, sent it out, got bids, kind of a cost estimate at the time, and I turned everything over to the chief.
yeah, I think and I'm trying to remember if our consultant had access to that, but, you know, they've done, you know, like I said, similar square footage and then just the challenges of parking. And the other problem is cost. You know, 8 or 9 years ago, I'm sure it was very expensive. Now it is even more expensive, and, you know, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, just because our cost estimates are very rough. But it is a significant expense, and so that'll be one of the big challenges, is finding the resources for it.
They talked about possibly building a parking ramp where the first, like, 2 floors would be commercial and public, and then the top 2 floors would be PD. Do you know if that's been explored again?
Not that specific plan. What we've looked at is, you know, Press Gazette kind of is what it is, and there's not a way to add parking to that footprint without demolishing the building, and it's on the National Register of Historic Places, and then that's super expensive. We did, just for comparison, so we kind of have something to compare it to, we did look at an option, a couple options on the real estate that we're on now, where, you know, one possibility is to build like an L-shaped brand new building around the one that we're in now, demolish that, dig the rest of that footprint out and put underground parking under there. That option is the most expensive one that we've looked at, and it is eye-wateringly expensive, unfortunately. But, you know, now we're just in the phase where we need to figure out what is possible and then what resources we think we may be able to get, and make a decision on, you know, if the return on the investment will be worth it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. The next items are, well, that's regular, next meeting here, but we'll talk that at the end. Consideration with possible action on the communications. The first one is the budget status report. On police, we've spent about 80% of the budget, and we're through just under 60% of the year, so I'm sure that by the end of the year, we'll probably go over that, so we'll need to secure additional funding. And then fire, On the original budget, have only spent 41%, but the medical physicals were not included in that. So if you add those up, you'll see in your package that we're about 3,000 over budget. And there will be some additional costs as these new recruits go through medical. So we'll have to do some work with the budget folks around securing additional money there. So I'll entertain a motion to receive those and place on file unless there's some additional questions.
I'll make that motion.
All right, we have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Dorf, seconded by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, we'll receive those and place on file. The next is consideration with possible action on a request to approve the monthly bills. Those were all psych and pre-employment physicals, and then a payment for the public safety answers, which the fire department uses for their recruiting process. So if there are no questions on any of those, I'll entertain a motion to approve or authorize. payment.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have
And seconded.
a motion by Commissioner Laux, seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. Pay the bills. The next two items are both closed session items, so I will go through one closed session statement. We will vote to go into closed session, do both of those items, and I will give separate reports for each item coming out. The first one is consideration with possible action on the review of patrol officer candidate backgrounds. And number 4 is interviews with patrol officer candidates. And please take note for both of them that the commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, and for the purpose of interviewing, evaluating, and considering employment of patrol officer candidates. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.5, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session to consider agenda items F3
So
and
moved.
4? Motion
Second.
by Commissioner Dorf, second by Commissioner Laux. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? We are in closed session.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
All right, while in closed session, we completed items F3 and 4, which included background reviews and interviews with candidates. In session 3, we reviewed 7 backgrounds. 2 of those candidates self-removed themselves from the process because they took jobs with other jurisdictions. 4 of those candidates we chose not to continue in the process, and 1 candidate we chose to continue in the process. And agenda item number 4, we had an interview with 1 patrol officer candidate and chose to continue that candidate in the hiring process. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve that report.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner
Second.
Dorf, seconded by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, report is confirmed. And with that, we have one more item, which was our next meeting.
So we hope to have some firefighter background investigations to go through, and wondering about your availability for late next week or potentially early the following week.
Early the following week works better for me. Yeah, 18, 19, 20, any of those days right now are wide open. Towards the end of next week, I've got some things that I gotta attend to, so that's where I am.
Next week, Thursday and Friday for sure, I'm no good. Mondays are tough because we have the grandbabies, but Tuesday and Wednesday I should be okay.
Yeah, I could easily give a pass to next week, so actually, if Tuesdays work for everybody, the 19th would work the best for me the
Sure.
following week.
19th works fine for me.
My wife's not here and I don't have my calendar that far out.
Okay.
So I'll have to send a message to Jen.
Sure.
All right. That
Ed or
sounds good.
Rod, are there particular times on the 19th, or? Or relatively open?
I'm open, yeah, any time will work for me.
Okay.
Usually it takes a little bit for me in the morning, so nothing before 9 a.m., please.
Okay. And then I will reach out to Rashad and Marion.
And Rod, we're looking at the 19th.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll let Carol know.
Okay, so we'll follow up with that and schedule that. With that, that completes our agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by
Second it.
Commissioner Dorf, seconded by Commissioner Laux. All those in favor?
Hold on, Jen, don't get rid of me.
Okay,
Hey,
well-
Kaner,
Yes,
Matt,
Wait,
I hear you're getting promoted.
Let's adjourn first, John, and then do that. So, all those in
Thought
favor?
we did.
Not yet. All those in favor of adjourning?
Oh,
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
When's that?
Recording stopped.